Welcome to Small Business, Big Network, the podcast for small business owners who want big results from their networking. I'm Liz Drury, a freelance voiceover artist who knows that if you're not working, then networking could help. Soumya Dinesh is the Managing Director of Atula Technologies, a company which creates custom software for small businesses. Soumya has had a very interesting career path, which includes finance, a florist, and chocolate making. Thank you very much for being my guest on the podcast today, Soumya.
Thank you for having me, Liz.
So you run an IT company, but I know that's not what you've always done. And you've had quite an interesting career path, so I wanted to talk a bit about that. So what did you want to be when you were at school? What was your dream?
Well, amongst various things, I'm pretty sure at some point I wanted to be a pilot.
Yeah.
Maybe fly a spacecraft or something. But equally, at another time, I just thought I want to just be a stay-at-home mum. So somewhere in between the range, I wanted to do so many things. But I think the most ambitious thing that I've thought about was being a pilot.
Now, you didn't go on to be a pilot, so I know you did
Right.
a master's degree in finance. What was it that attracted you to the financial field?
Well, I wanted to also, when I finished school, I did consider going on and doing a course in engineering. But that involved me traveling and living in a different state and potentially maybe in a co-ed environment. It wasn't really something my family appreciated or approved. So I didn't get too much support, and I thought, okay, fine, sod it. I was good at everything. I was really good at everything. I was a good student throughout. And the next best thing I thought was business and finance and economics and things related to that. So while I was extremely clear I did not want to become an accountant, I thought the other best way to work with numbers and finance was to actually get a proper degree in finance and get into the management side of business. So be more involved with the day-to-day finances and controlling the purse strings for potentially big companies.
Yeah, and that is what you went on to do after you got your degree, wasn't it? So tell me about your time working in that sector.
Yes, that is. So before I actually got my degree in my hands, I went for an interview with one of the then leading accounting and advisory business advisory firms in the world. They were opening up offices in India back then. I was in India. I grew up there, finished my college there. And I went on to do multiple rounds of interviews and successfully got given an offer. And I thought, and the offer was just completely irresistible. It was a number I had only seen on TV, the wages that I was going to be paid, and I thought that was amazing. I didn't even think it was possible. So I thought, okay, right, I'm going to do this. Took the job. It allowed me to travel a lot to Europe, which was also, something nobody had done. Nobody did that back then.
Yeah.
So it was interesting it was a really wonderful experience to get into that world of accounting and business advisory, because all the clients were they were multinational companies having offices across the world, and dealing in things that were at that point in time well beyond my common knowledge. So I was literally thrown in the deep end in terms of what happens in the business world and how things are managed, how businesses are run, kind of thing. So it gave me incredible experience and insights into what goes on.
Yeah. And then you had a complete change of career, didn't you? Tell me what you went on to do next.
So that was when the .com boom happened. The internet was then we had dial-up internet. I know,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure for a long time after that we still had dial-up internet. But then the internet came to be pretty much what we've known it for the past 15, 20 years, and along with it came a brand new concept called e-commerce,
Mm.
which was it was mind blowing back then that you could actually log in, dial up, connect to the internet, and you can buy things,
Yeah.
or have the ability to send something to somebody across to another part of the globe. My parents had a florist shop that was on the high street,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought, let me, this is the in thing, this is what I want to do, let me jump in on this. And I set up a website. Well, thinking back, I know it was pretty primitive, but it was a website nonetheless. And I then set up logistics and delivery, negotiated delivery deals with the big portals that had then sprung up as well,
Mm.
to be their exclusive delivery partners for flower bouquets and gifts across the length and breadth of India.
Yeah.
So that was a whole new, that was my first, I would say, accidental step into business, because I didn't know what I was getting into, but I knew what the potential was. So I signed these deals, and all of them now suddenly could go away and get and target customers in the US and in Europe and other parts of the world, and have a dedicated person on the ground to deliver the orders they had secured.
Mm.
So it got me into business because I suddenly realized I had to negotiate with other people who would supply on my behalf in cities that I wasn't present, and negotiate on this side with what prices I was going to charge for the premium service that I was providing. I was the only provider then, so it was my market. So a lot of early business training happened without me going and seeking it out. So yeah, got into my first business venture. It grew manyfold from there on, and eventually we sold it. We signed a deal and sold it because it had grown and done the deal. Of course, there were many people who jumped onto the same
Mm-hmm.
bandwagon, but we were still the leaders. We did it for several years, and then we called it a day.
Yeah, that's amazing. And all because of the way the internet was evolving and developing. So I know that you then,
Absolutely.
when you got married, and you moved to the UK. So what was your next career move once you'd moved over here?
Well, at that point, I was just a stay-at-home mom. I just had two young children. My younger one was, I think, just born. I thought I needed to retrain and kind of upskill myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and got myself certification as an SAP consultant.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a course, I got a I became a certified SAP consultant, and I landed a job with Lloyd's TSB back
Yeah.
in Bristol. So their entire IT department used to work out of Bristol. So I worked there alongside, in the team of subject matter experts, and handled a lot of the things that were IT related over there. That went on for some time. Then we moved out of Bristol, and I moved along. My job moved to Sony,
Mm.
the big, TV manufacturer, TV
Yeah.
games, all that. Again, within their IT systems. So I worked within IT. Again, I was with their, supporting their live systems there, and taking care of that. Somewhere along all this, I again accidentally slipped into chocolate making. I can't quite remember. Well, it was just a fun thing I did with my dad. I took him out to, just have spend the day with him. And I said,
Mm.
let's go do this course and see what's the big deal about making chocolates. Kind of, in a very vain
Yeah.
way. And I thought, well, we'll do that. It was an absolutely brilliant day I had with him. But after I came back, I just thought, well, I'm going to do some more. Let's make some more chocolates. And I realized all my attempts were absolutely rubbish. The chocolates never looked anywhere close to what we had produced when we were at the course.
Yeah.
And that got me to think and realize that making chocolates is quite an unforgiving skill. It's a very precise art. There's not much room for error. The temperature, the humidity, and all those things have to be so perfect
Yeah.
in order to get the best looking chocolate. Once you nail the look, then of course you had to work on flavors and make sure that they actually taste something, taste really
Yeah.
good. So, and being a perfectionist, I couldn't quite accept the fact that a bowl of chocolate could defeat me. So I kept at it and persevered until I had kitchen cupboards full of chocolate that didn't quite look the thing, but they tasted great. Um, and ironically, I'm not a big fan of chocolate. So I took them all into work and I just, sent a note on the intranet saying there's a whole table full of chocolates here. Please just come and get your sugar fix here. I was gone in half an hour and I got messages saying, can you make some for this and can you make some for that event? And I'm thinking, are you seriously wanting to give me your hard-earned cash for this? And, somewhere in my DNA, I'm a businesswoman. And I thought if somebody's willing to pay me cash for this,
Yeah.
I'm taking it.
Yeah.
So I went back and I thought, right, but I have to package it well and I have to make a really absolutely smart looking box of chocolates. So I started all over again, made fresh batches of perfect looking chocolates, got beautiful boxes to package them in, ribbons and this, that, and the other. And before I knew it, I had a thriving business going on. So I was doing a full-time job, handling two little kids and the household, traveling and running this side hustle, which when I look back, I think I must have been completely mental. But I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
So
And it was
I
successful too.
definitely got a kick.
You won awards for your chocolate, didn't you?
Yes, I did, which I never expected. Well, my husband always had more faith in me and more confidence in what I did. So he didn't tell me, but he took the chocolates that I'd made. Well, this is a few years later on, so I had actually, perfected the skill, and I had a whole bunch of new flavors that I had developed and documented. So I was already doing markets and events across the country, really. So I was now doing it at a semi-professional level. I mean, when I say semi-professional, I only say that because I didn't have a proper piece of paper to say I was a chocolatier. But people were willing to stock my chocolates and sell it in their stores. So I was doing that, and all this again alongside a full-time job. So I was at work, and he sent some of my most popular chocolates into the awards entity. And I didn't know anything about it until I got back certificates and letters in the post saying this flavor's got that star and this flavor's got that, and I didn't know what it was until I had to Google them, and I realized I had 4 award-winning flavors in my menu, and that's it. The phone didn't stop ringing, and I came to a point where I had to choose between my full-time job with a really good pay or pursuing something which was in my DNA, which is running a business and enjoying that. So I chose the latter, and I gave up my job and I got into this. I ran the chocolates business for many years, selling up and down the country into farm and deli shops. I had my own production factory. It was an amazing, I think 8 to 10 years, probably. It was an amazing time. I absolutely thrived off the energy. I mean, job satisfaction doesn't get any better than that, really. Because people come looking for you, they buy the chocolates, and they are absolutely amazed and happy. They go away happy. So I did that for several years until I reached a point where I thought, okay, I've ignored my family because this is demanding. I worked 20 hours a day for about 10 years. And I never had weekends because that was the time you sold.
Yes.
So I practically gave away 10 years of my life my kids didn't see me,
Yeah.
and then it was just guilt that I can't afford to miss out on family life. So I made a choice and hung up the apron, and and then waited for the next big thing to happen.
Yeah. So I think now we come to the business you're running today. So tell me what
Yeah.
business you're in these days.
So this is just around the COVID time, I guess, where everybody had a moment to stop and evaluate what was going on in life and what they actually wanted to do. I had been out of the chocolate business, running my own chocolate business for maybe a year or 18 months by then. I had been involved in helping others set up their own chocolate factories and helping them in recipe development and things like that. But that was just an, off and on thing. Um, when COVID hit and we had all the time in the world to sit down and think about what we want for the next stage in life, my husband and I said he used to work in IT as well, and we thought this is the best thing. I wanted to run my own business. This was our strength. We had gained all our experience and expertise within the IT sector. And we thought, let's just start our own business and we will specialize in this particular part of IT, which is developing custom software. So rather than businesses just buying something off the shelf and force fitting it into their business processes, we thought, why don't we build something that's actually going to make sense to people, something that doesn't force them to rewire and rework their whole business, but have an IT system that fits into their process and their way of doing things. Because clearly businesses that have been successful for several years have got something right, but they don't have the tools necessarily to allow them to carry on doing that. So we set up the business to do exactly that, to build bespoke software.
And so what kind of businesses do you find yourself working with?
All our clients are B2B businesses. They've been around for about 3 to 5 years at least, and they have a team of at least a minimum of between 5 and 50 employees. And any industry really, we are industry agnostic, so we can work with any industry. What we've noticed over the years is that a business is a business, and most businesses have similar problems when it comes to technology and resources and how they view things and or the things that they find challenging, and that's common irrespective of which industry they're in.
Yeah.
So that made it easy for us because we look at our clients from a business perspective first, understand the business problem, and then offer the technical solution to actually address the problem or the challenge.
Yeah. And so what difference do you find having the custom software makes to a business?
It makes them the biggest advantage having custom software is that it makes the business transferable, especially for the small and medium business segment, where businesses have somehow been running with sellotaped solutions, so Excel spreadsheets and a few bits of kit from here and from there, and when it comes to an exit strategy, and when I say exit, it doesn't necessarily mean a sale of the business. It could be handing it over to the next generation. It could be any kind of stepping away, even just handing it over to somebody else to run while you're still in the background. Any kind of transferability comes from having systems in place that allow the business to run efficiently as if the key person was running it. That's the biggest advantage that all our clients have derived from having bespoke software.
Yes. So finally, we come to networking. How do you like to network for your business?
Not sure what the question how means, but I think I truly enjoy face-to-face networking.
Yeah.
I would quickly add I actually like structured networking events more than, you know, turn up randomly at
Yeah.
networking events. That's a very personal choice, really. I don't. It's not like one is better than the other. It's just that I prefer the structured meetings to the ones where you just turn up if
Yeah.
you want and if you didn't want, or if there was no commitment, because then I'm not building a relationship with the other members in that room. I
Yeah.
may or may not see them the next time, so that's the
Yeah.
reason why I prefer structured member-oriented meetings.
Yeah. And what do you get from going to networking meetings? What's it brought to
Oh
your
gosh,
business?
so much from mental health to actual business, everything. It's as a person who, although I have a team and we all work together, it's so refreshing when you go out and meet people, because the one thing you realize is that everybody on some level is the same. Everybody is going through the same challenges and the same troubles and enjoys the same, benefits and the same things in life. And you get to realize that when you go out and meet people and you actually connect with them on a human level. I mean, very often I go to networking events and end up not speaking about business at all.
Yeah.
Well, I might give a 30-second introduction as to who I am or what my business does. But apart from that, I think most conversations revolve generally about the person, who I am and who the other person is. And it's through building those meaningful relationships and acknowledging people as just as people, that's where the business actually comes from. Because if you know, like, and trust someone, then business will follow
Yes.
naturally and eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. So my final question then is, if people are interested in learning more about you and your business, or if they're interested in having custom software for their own business, what is the best place for people to find you?
Two places. One is my LinkedIn profile. It's very simple. It's just my first name followed by my last name. Or my website, which is atulatech.com.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much for being my guest. I've really enjoyed listening to your career story. It's been a very varied path for you, and best of luck for the future.
Thank you so much, Liz. It's been a pleasure to be here and talk to you.
Thanks for listening to Small Business, Big Network. If you found this podcast useful, please do rate, review and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with the rest of your network too.